Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Still Got It podcast. I'm your host, Sam Njoku, joined as always by Vaughn Kane and Clay Patton. Been a couple of weeks since we've been on. I take blame for that. It's my fault. Had a lot of stuff going on. Had to take a vacation. This is the time to do it. It's the off season. But we're back and rolling. We're probably not going to stop again until we crown a Super Bowl champion. So fasten your seatbelts. Get ready because it's going to be a long ride to the end of the 2025 season. Lots and lots of stuff to get to in this episode. We're going to be talking about the Eagles, some other powerhouses that could creep up and get to the Eagles. We'll also touch base on flag football as the Olympics is coming ever so closely, and I'm sure the powers that be are trying to get their teams together, so we'll touch on who we believe could be potentially in that conversation. But first, we're going to talk about the National Football League as it pertains to the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the reigning Super Bowl champions. And before we get started, I wanted to talk to both Vaughn and Clay about something that's been on my mind a little bit, and I want to touch base and give you an opportunity to pick and choose who you'd prefer at quarterback. I'm going to give you a couple of options here. In fact, 3 options. Bear with me. So quarterback A, 2,903 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Or would you rather have quarterback B, who has 3,775 yards, 29 touchdowns, but 12 interceptions on the season? And then finally, C, 3,541 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. So I'll read it off to you again. The first quarterback had 18 touchdowns with 5 picks, 2,900 yards passing. The second quarterback, 3,775 yards with the blossoming 29 touchdowns and only 12 picks. And quarterback 3 has 20 touchdowns with 6 interceptions and 3,541 yards. I'll start with you, Clay. Who would you rather have?
Give me C.
C sounds good. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would have picked C too. What about you, Vaughn? Any different?
I'm gonna say B. It's not A. I know who A is based on the stats. I'm gonna say B.
Yeah. So you know where I'm going with this. Quarterback A is Jalen Hurts. 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Did enough to win a championship, but obviously lower on the stats. Quarterback B, Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos, had 29 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. And quarterback C, Caleb Williams with 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So, in my opinion, 2 rookie quarterbacks had a better overall season than the Super Bowl champion, Jalen Hurts, which leads me to the first segment of the show. Where would you place Jalen Hurts in the top 5, 10, maybe even 15 in your quarterbacks list? You don't have to write off your list all knowing, but if you want to just make your case, that's fine. But I'll start with you, Clay. Where would you have Jalen Hurts in your top rankings in 2025?
I mean, just spitballing off the top of my head, I would say he's hovering around the 10 mark. You feel me? If somebody brought him in between like 9 to 12, I'm not mad at that, because like with some of the names like we just did with that, I wouldn't put Caleb Williams and them above him yet, just because of like the sample size. So like I believe like if let's go, tell me to stop, or if when I do too much. Clearly we got Lamar, we got Josh Allen, we got Joe Burrow, we got Patrick Mahomes, we got Goff. Y'all agree with Goff?
I agree with Goff.
We got Herbert.
Agree with Herbert, even though he doesn't have the playoff success.
Stafford.
Stat-wise,
he's one of the best ever.
Iffy, yeah. Jaden Daniels, maybe?
Jaden Daniels, I got above Hurts.
Yeah, I'm above Hurts. That's questionable for me, but
that's questionable. I get it.
Yeah,
but this is that 8-9 that that now if we just say Hurts in here, I'm not mad at that. But there's still some names that I'm not mad if we put above him either.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If he's not in the top 10, I'm not arguing with you about it. I'm not making a case for him to get in there. I'll say that. I think we can put a lot of people over there in that. The only thing that I'll say is like with the tush push, maybe all the quarterbacks can't do that. But I think if you put a lot of people in that situation out there with the type of weapons he has all over the field, tight end, 2 receivers, and arguably the best running back in the league, maybe not even arguably, I think a lot of people can get it done, man.
I agree. What about you, Vaughn?
I think he's definitely top 10 for sure. Like Clay said, I would say he's probably like 8 on my list. I would guess 8 or 9. I feel like he's based on those stats. I mean, of course, I wouldn't put those 2 over him by all means. I would never do that. But at the same time, championship for sure. the big thing about Hurts is you got a game plan around him. So regardless, he's not doing that. You got to worry about his legs and his arm, regardless. So that's a whole different ball game in general. That's a whole different week. You got a game plan for him. Yes, his stats just kind of lower just because they had Saquon too. So that's a big carry. So yes, he had to throw the ball tons of times, but only 2,900 yards is kind of crazy in general.
Yeah, that's nuts for real. I didn't realize it was that low.
Yeah, at the same time though, like you got a game plan for him. I guess he's definitely better than he's. I think he's like on my list. I would say.
Yeah, can you make a case for him being top 5? Is there any realm
Hell no.
that you have in his
No.
top 5?
Hell no.
No, there's no shot.
Yeah,
There's no shot.
That's where I'm at. There's no. I don't see it. I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy, at least initially. But the Philadelphia Eagles fans, be happy you won a championship. Your team is the best in the league. The Eagles, still in my opinion, had probably the best chance to repeat just because of what they do with their front four on defense. I think that's going to be a problem for any team to deal with. But Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, I think I don't have him in my top 10. I don't. I have him in the top 15. I don't have him in the top 10. I think he's regressed as a quarterback. I think in 2022 was probably his best year as a QB. I think he was potentially being talked about as an MVP candidate, but since then he hasn't really done anything. And I was at the Ravens-Eagles game, the game in which the Eagles won, and I saw what they do on offense, and it's really just Saquon Barkley. I don't see the appeal of the Eagles. I mean, again, Hurts, if he doesn't play well, they don't win the championship, but I think you can plug in Geno Smith and put him in that team, and I think they'll still compete for a championship. Obviously, I think if you put Lamar Jackson in, that team's never going to lose a game ever in the history of football. That would be like insane. Him and Saquon with that offensive line would be nuts. I mean, there's so many other quarterbacks that I won't say that. I'm going to give Jalen Hurts the respect, but top 5.
Yeah, top 5 is crazy.
Yeah, top 5 is crazy. I mean, you got Josh Allen, you got Joe Burrow, you got Lamar, you got Patrick Mahomes. I put Goff over him because Goff does more with his arm. If there's a situation where you stop Saquon Barkley, do you trust Jalen Hurts to win with the game with his arm by himself? Maybe against a pedestrian defense, but against a team like the Lions?
I feel like the Eagles won a lot of their games. They had a number 1 ranked defense too. So it's like I mean, you got to do much off of that. You can play terrible.
Just don't suck.
Yeah, just
don't turn the ball over. Which it's going to work out.
It's why his stats is probably kind of lower because it's like I'm getting the benefit of doubt. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. It's like yes, his stats are low because he has a great running back, great defense. So you're gonna win based off of those two alone. You can take the ball, away, and chew clock. That's the whole game right there. You won. So
he did have over 1,000 yards rushing. I will say that he had over 1,000 yards rushing. Yeah. He had 13 touchdowns, push touchdowns, but he still reached the end zone. So there is an element to his game that wasn't accounted for in that comparison. But overall, I think that if you take away the run game from the Eagles, you're in trouble. Nobody was able to do that last year, so the Eagles don't have nothing to worry about. But as far as those other quarterbacks,
O-line though. Some of their O-line pieces have moved around.
They have moved around a little bit. We're going to get to that in a second. In fact, let's just get to it right now. Is there a team in the NFC that has closed the gap because of the losses that we mentioned with the Eagles and the offensive line, because of the limitations to Jalen Hurts as a quarterback? Are there other teams in the NFC that has kind of closed the gap in the offseason, or do you still think it's the Eagles' championship to lose and did have to lose it, and no other team in the NFC has any shot at dethroning them as NFC champions? I'll start with you, Vaughn.
I would say there's 3 teams. There's 2 obvious ones. The Redskins. Oh, my fault. The Commanders.
Redskins.
I know the Commanders and the Lions. Those are like 2 obvious ones. My sleeper is probably the Rams.
Okay.
I would say the Rams got a little bit better. Of course, adding Devontae, they drafted pretty already decent. But I'll say those 3. I think the Rams gave them kind of fits a little bit too in the playoffs for a second. But I'll say those 3 teams definitely. The Commanders, they're in their division. Of course, the Lions go the whole team, the Lions. But those 3 teams, I think, who can close the gap for sure. We have closed the gap.
Has any of them done anything?
I don't think anybody's done anything. But like I said, with the subtractions from the Eagles, like I said, I don't think it's going to be like overtly obvious that they, Mekhi Becton is gone. Like I think they'll be able to put somebody in there and still fare well. But like I said, the Commanders were right there on the edge. But then even with losses, the Lions lost the OC. You feel me? Ben Johnson is over there in Chicago now. So we got to see how how much
Yeah.
does that change the personality or the type of stuff that's going on over there? So
So
it'll
the
be interesting. I think it's tough, but I like the Lions team in there. I think this is their window. If there's ever a time for Detroit to do it, I think this is the time right now for sure.
the Commanders, they added left tackle Tunsil.
Laramie, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
from
added.
Texas.
Of course, they added Debo. We gotta see how he is.
Boy, he
I
looked
know.
like a
I
tight
know.
end in them clips, boy.
I know. That's what we gotta see how he is. And they did add Austin Eckler too, though. So it's a whole different. So they added some pieces for sure. Like Clay said, the coordinators for the Lions, other than coordinators, they really haven't lost much. I mean, center Frank left, of course, but they can kind of replace that. But as far as that, everything else stayed the same. They really and shit with the Rams, it's pretty much it's just Stafford. I trust Stafford. I think everybody here likes Stafford, know what he can do. As long as he stay healthy, I mean, I think the Rams got a chance, especially offensively. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm rocking with the Rams. I think they got a shot too. Lions, I think, just be careful because the Ravens they lost their DC Mike
yeah,
McDonald last year, and it took them a while to get back together. So, and we
that's
hired internally as well. So that's why I'm like, ooh, and losing both OC and DC is kind of crazy as well. But you got Jared Goff, who's an experienced vet, and you got Dan Campbell, who knows this stuff too. So I think the Lions are going to be in it. Let's see. Again, I still think the Eagles are probably the cream of the crop in the NFC, but anything can happen. We thought the Commanders were going to be lousy last year, and they came up. So that'll be very interesting to see what happens. But yep, nice conversation. Let's talk about the AFC for a change. My neck of the woods, the AFC North. Shador Sanders got in a little bit of trouble. Speeding ticket going 101 miles an hour. Not very good in terms of where he's at with media, but he's still competing for that starting spot, even though he's a fifth round draft pick. A lot of people assume his skill set leads him in the race, but he has others like Joe Flacco, my boy out of Delaware. We got Gabriel, who they drafted 2 rounds prior to Shador Sanders, and they got Kenny Pickett, who is a bum. But did anybody think that there's any shot that Shador Sanders starts in week 1? Clay, I'll start with you because you were high on Sanders coming into the draft.
Week one, I don't think so. I just don't think that's a realistic expectation. I think Joe Flacco would have to come in and literally like shit the bed for that to happen. He's already been there, kind of had some success while he was there, considering like what all was going on. I think that's the reason you even bring Joe Flacco in. You know, he's going to drive the boat for the first 4 or 5 weeks. If somebody is to come and take the spot, it'll be mid-season or something like that. But I wouldn't even try to put that expectation on him. If we see him, it'll be mid-season. Week 7 to 9 or something like that. But week one, it'll be old Flacco.
Yeah, what about you, Vaughn?
no, I agree. I completely agree. I feel like it's Joe Flacco. It's safe, honestly. Just go Joe Flacco. He knows he's doing. He's been there before. It's week 1. Nobody really care about week 1 anyway. Honestly, um, Clay said I think he's going to have a chance to start during the season, but other than that, I mean, honestly, out of those 4 quarterbacks, they might even try to get rid of one. Honestly, it's straight. So
And I don't
they
think Kenny Pickett
yeah.
stays. Yeah, I think
I
Pickett's
think it
gone.
should try to lead. But yeah, like Clay said, it's Joe Flacco's. I think it's no option there. He should definitely start week 1 and then let's figure out the season how it goes. If Joe Flacco shits the bed in 6 weeks, then yeah, by all means, give it to somebody else. But I think it's Joe Flacco for sure.
That was
I'll,
my
I'll,
next
be, I'll be
question.
excited to see him against some 2s or 3s or something like the preseason. I'll
Preseason.
watch. I'll watch a couple Browns preseason games to see him to check him out. I'll
How
do
long do
that
you think it will take for Shador to start? If you had to guesstimate.
because I don't think Joe Flacco's a bum either. Let me put
No,
that
He's
out
not.
there too. I,
yeah,
I think he's still very competent. I don't believe he's just going to shit the bed.
no,
But I
not at
think
all.
they would have to be on like a losing streak or something like that to try to shake something up. So if he does get a chance to start this year, like I said, I'll week 9, week
Yeah,
9.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 7.
7? Okay.
I think they give Flacco a chance first like 4 weeks, maybe see what he's doing. They might give what Kenny a couple games here or there. Might throw Gabriel and Shador in one game together, see how that goes, and then let Shador ride out. So I'd say week 7.
So
I think I
Shador's not
think
the second
Shadur's going to
option.
have the locker room
Oh
quick
yeah,
though.
for
I will
sure.
say that. I
Yeah,
will say I think he probably already got it.
Yeah, I think with the offensive line struggles, and that Joe Flacco's going to struggle because Joe Flacco can't move. So, and then
Yeah.
everybody's going to want somebody younger that can get out there and move in the pocket. That's Shadur. Shadur's not, he's no Michael Vick, but I mean, he still has that pocket presence. I think.
Yeah, I think all three of them can move. Other
Yeah.
than Joe Flacco, everybody else can move. They're like elusive enough to be in their pocket. But like you
Mm-hmm.
said, the locker room is definitely already won for sure.
Oh yeah, Shadur got it for sure. All right, well, let's talk about flag football because the Olympics is around the corner. It's coming to the USA. I mean, because of the current politics, that may change a little bit. A couple of teams have already been shown the door because of political agendas, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, the Olympics so far is going to be in the USA, and with that comes the flag football train. And we talked about this in previous episodes about what we would do, who we would like, whether or not there's a place for the NFL players on the team. We're going to talk about it, but let's first take a look at the rules because it's changed a little bit since our time here, and we need to make sure we understand it a little bit better before talking about it. Some people assume it's 7-on-7, but it's not. Let's take a look at the Olympic flag football rules. It looks like it's a number of players, 5 on offense, 5 on defense. You get 12 total players on your roster. So the coach would need to figure out who to put on there. I'm assuming one extra sub on each side of the ball. It consists of 2 20-minute halves. It includes a 2-minute warning for each half. It's very college football-y in terms of rules. The clock will keep on rolling other than a timeout. If you go out of bounds after catching the ball or running the ball out of bounds, the clock will stop until the ball is reset. Once it hit the 2-minute warning, the clock will stop after a catch. Once it hits out of bounds, yada, yada, yada. Very football rule-ish. But for the most part, we're going to keep that clock rolling during flag football, especially in the Olympics, with those number of teams going at it. In the red zone, there will be no running plays. So when formulating your team, you want to make sure you don't really put too much emphasis on running the football because there will be no running once you hit the 5-yard line. After the touchdown, you can run or pass from the 5-yard line for 1 point or from the 10-yard line for 2 points. So if you're down by a couple of scores, you want to get back in the game, you might want to step back a little bit and try and tote that rock a little bit, get the ball into the end zone for 2 points. The Still Got It crew, which consists of myself, Vaughn, and Clay, we're going to try and create the perfect Olympic team for USA using the B team. So that means no Lamar Jackson. No Lamar Jackson at all. We're not going to use him. No Justin Jefferson. No Jamar Chase at receiver. Definitely don't have the clamps of Sauce Gardner on the opposite side of the ball. We're going to try and use, give the flag football folks, the purists, a chance to win them over with the B team. And we'll start with you, Clay. I want your top tier B team list. I want to see if this team has what it takes to get the gold in 2028. Go for it.
All right. So I'm gonna start with offense first. My quarterback. I'm gonna come with the young bull who's shown us a little something. I'm gonna go C.J. Stroud.
Ooh, I like it.
I feel like I feel like he would like that honor. I feel like he would sound good in the press conferences for Olympic flag football. Okay. Now for my center or my tight end, somebody that's gonna snap the ball, still be able to get up and run a route, make some plays for me. I'm going Isaiah Likely. I'm staying home. I'm
Oh,
staying
I
home.
love
I
it.
like that one.
Big catch radius, get up and down the field. Like I said, can chip whatever rusher you got going on, whatever the type of situation is. Big body. Okay. Next for my running back, I'm going Jameer Gibbs. Like I said,
uh,
run, catch. I told you we
cheater,
was gonna clash. I knew
cheater. That's a
one of us
cheater.
was going first, man. One of us had to go
Yeah,
first.
I like it. That's
So
why I
I'm
picked
going
that.
Gibbs. Like I said, can run it, can catch it out the backfield, especially with that rule. You can't run within the 5-yard line. He's not worried about that. He'll stand up inside or outside the numbers slot. Let's do it. Now with the receivers, like I said, it gets kind of dicey because it's like I said, it's what do you say, 75-yard field, 75 by 25. So the dimensions are off. So you need somebody that's shifty, can run the whole route tree, but can still maybe take you up top. So I'm going Brandon Ayuk
Ooh,
and
special
Lad
level.
McConkey.
That
I had
McConkey, I like
lad.
that one.
I had lad. I
Lad
like that one.
McConkey is a real. I got an America pick on both sides of the ball. So Lad McConkey is my offensive America pick. So I'm going C.J. Stroud, Jameer Gibbs, Isaiah Likely, Brandon Ayuk, and Lad McConkey. That's my 5 that I'm putting out there as my no disrespect B team.
I
Because,
like
like we
it.
said, we're not going to put the best of the best out there for the Olympics for this scenario at least.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right. Now with defense, I may get in some trouble because I feel like I'm cheating on at least one of them. But all right.
let's
So
hear
I'm
it.
gonna start at safety. I'm going Talanoa Hufanga.
Hufanga. I like that one.
Okay. And now, like I said, some of these I'm probably cheating, but they're young. They my young bulls. I'm going Trent McDuffie.
That's a good one.
That's cheating for sure.
Nah, that's a good
Trent
one.
McDuffie's top 3 in the league.
Oh, we should do this.
Derek Stingley Jr. That's a conversation.
You're a cheater,
Yep.
bro.
That's
You're a cheater. Hold on, time out.
It got hard.
Jameer
wait, who's the
Gibbs,
next
too.
one? I missed it.
Cheater.
So then Derek Stingley Jr. was after McDuffie.
That's like the third best corner. That's the third best corner in the league, probably.
Yeah.
My America pick is Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson is definitely an American pick. 1,000%.
That's my American pick.
But that's
Aiden Hutchinson is also
and this is
best.
The only reason that my last, I told you I was cheating on defense. I told y'all.
You cheating for sure.
Then my linebacker. The only reason this ain't an A name is just because of his name. Honestly, real football heads would damn near would tell me this is an A tier linebacker. I'm going Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah from the Browns.
From the Browns.
Yeah.
You're,
like I said,
you're bugging. Well, actually, I like that pick.
That's a decent pick. That's a good pick. Yeah,
like
that's a good pick. That's a good pick. I like that.
All right, yeah, your defense is definitely clamping. I wouldn't go off the rip,
bro. But
the reason I chose those, like again, because they were young. But I feel like if you ask the average American football watcher,
that's true.
What corners are you gonna pick? They're not gonna say McDuffie or Derek Stingley Jr. We watch football.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? People that watch football. But if you ask Americans, who would you say is the top tier corners in the league? You know what I'm saying? I don't think those are the names that they're going to rattle off. So for football fans, I'll take the criticism. I'll take my lashes in the comments. I know they're going to come.
Get them.
I know they're going to come.
For sure. All right, Vaughn, you next. You better, better be ready because.
Oh yeah, I got some picks. Some random picks. All right. So the first one was kind of cheating. I'll give you that right now. I'm gonna do Cam Ward. That's my quarterback.
Oh yeah, that's a good pick.
I feel like he's fit perfect 707.
Yeah, all right. That ain't cheating.
All right, cool. All right, we're gonna go receivers next. Big body. I'm gonna take Nico Collins.
Nico is fire, boy.
Nico's fire. Then I'm gonna take Brian Thomas also.
Okay, I like that.
Tight end. I had Colston Loveland at first, but I'm gonna change it to Terrence Ferguson. I don't know if y'all know who that is. He played for Oregon last year. Yeah. Number 3 tight. Number 3. He played for the Rams now, but he's like 6'5", 4'6" speed, I think. So I feel like a couple years he might be that boy. Hopefully he's that man. Running back, I'm gonna do Devon Achane.
Oh, Miami Dolphins.
A little shifty. Yeah, I had Ladd up there too, but I'm gonna put Brian Thomas in there too. Okay. Corners. Oh, I did tight. Yeah. So defense now. Defense, kind of cheating. I'm gonna do Travis Hunter. He can play both ways.
Play them both.
Yeah, play both ways. My 2, I'm gonna do 3 corners. That's my first one. Second corner is Joey Porter.
Joey Porter Jr. from Steelers.
And then 3 is J.C. Horn.
I was gonna pick him as well.
Yeah, that's my 3 corners. I'm gonna go my linebacker slash rush, Abdul Carter.
You got the first rounders, boy.
Yeah, I got 2 first rounders.
The rooks.
The rooks, and then my linebacker slash safety. I'm gonna put a safety in my linebacker spot. I'm gonna do Brian Branch. That's like my little kind of cheater type of thing. Top safety in the league, well, top 3 safety in the league, but for sure, that's my my team fired.
Your team is fired. Nico Collins is crazy. I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
That Nico Collins was kind of crazy. I definitely didn't expect that name.
Yeah, Nico Collins.
No hate to Nico, but
Nico's I don't feel like he's another top tier receiver name. He might be tier 2, I would say probably. But he's 6'5", he can move. He like what?
Boy is fast. And tall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Big body. Go down there. I think he'll be 26. So he'll be 29, something like that. 28. Whatever. But yeah, let me see yours, Sam. What's yours?
Mine's is sucky. I picked guys that didn't play well in the league, really, didn't make a name for themselves yet. So on offense, I got Justin Fields. He's a fast guy.
I was about to pick him too.
We need Twitchy.
Twitchy guy. Running back, I got J.K. Dobbins. If healthy, he's a shifty guy as well. He can keep the center of gravity type of dude.
Okay.
if he's healthy. And I got speedsters on my receivers. I got Hollywood Brown on one side, and I got Xavier Worthy on the other. I'm just poaching the Chiefs
Burning.
receivers and just burning
that's a good one.
them Frenchmen up. And my tight end, I got Zach Ertz because he just feels like a dude who would love to play for the Olympics.
That's an America pick.
That's
an America pick. Had to get one America
Zach
pick.
gonna be like, how old is he now? He gotta be like 36 and like
This is last year in the league, bro, for sure.
Okay,
He
gonna
done.
come. Okay.
He gonna come for this and then be done.
Okay.
Safety, I got Malachi Starks. Gotta have my Raven up there. Yeah. I got another Raven, Nate Wiggins. Small guy.
Corner.
Who could keep up with Xavier and them guys. I couldn't think of a pass rusher that wasn't cheating, so I just picked Mike Green, the Ravens, second round draft pick. My other corner, I was going to go Joey Porter Jr., but I'm going to go Cooper DeJean instead. You know what I mean?
Another American pick. Heart of America. Yeah.
He has to hold off on saying, certain words in the huddle sometimes. You know what I mean? One of them. And then Jahad Campbell is the last linebacker pick. Yeah.
I like that one.
I like Jahad. I think he's going to be.
So I think if we collectively made a list, I think we could have the craziest B team.
Oh, yeah.
Period. Collectively.
Sure.
Yeah.
Most of them coming in your defense,
comments.
Clay, for sure.
Yeah.
Put in the comments.
Comments. Let's get your B team. Let's get the team you won in the Olympics. These players are trying to give, the flag footballers a chance, the professional flag football players, but I want the gold, man. They can play, on CBS at, July or whatever, but
there's a B pool in the Olympics, ain't there?
Maybe. If there is, then go for it.
Or maybe that's just like in the quals and stuff like that. But yeah, put them in the quals. Put both teams in. How about we do that? We enter the Olympic A like a track meet. We're gonna put in the Olympic A with our B team that we talking about, and then Olympic B will be the professional flag.
Yeah,
and just let's see what it do.
That's right.
Give them a shot. Let's get it. You feel me?
I like it. All right. Well, we talked about the jovialness of football, and now it's time to get to the sourness. I want to get the top 5 losses in franchise history for both teams because right now everybody thinks their team has a chance to win the championship. My hopes are high. The Ravens just got Jair Alexander. I'm sure the Lions fans are thinking that it's a championship season because they've been so close each and every season. And they got Dan Campbell as a head coach. And, of course, the Cowboys always think the Cowboys have a chance to win the championship because they're the Cowboys and they're America's team.
America.
I don't even think that's the truth anymore, man.
I mean, I feel like it could be. Dak Prescott was injured last year. People forget. I think Dak Prescott's, when healthy, is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You got a chance, man. You never know. If Jerry Jones gets out of the way, maybe he gets it done. All right, we'll start with you, Vaughn. Top 5 worst losses in Lions history. These are going to be posted on social media for sure because I want Lions fans to chime in on what their losses are. But let's get your top 5 losses.
Listen, I am 32 years old. I've seen a lot of the Lions bad, okay? Terrible. I even seen brown paper bags over faces at games. And my number 5 is the entire 2008 NFL season. Not just one game, the whole fucking season. All right.
How many games y'all win?
0-16. 0-16.
Over.
First team ever in 16 game history to lose every single game. All right. Thank you for making me relive that. I hate you. All right.
Bad.
Number 4, 2010 game. Bears versus Lions. That's like the Calvin Johnson rule. That's where Calvin Johnson caught that pass in the end zone, had the ball in one hand, touched the ground, and fell out. Incomplete pass, ended up losing the game. So that's how they all started. So lost the game by that. My number 3, the 2024 divisional round versus Commanders. I feel like that's just the highest, closer we got to the championship. So that's like yes, it sucks, but it was like a bad loss. But it's one of the games we just couldn't stop Jaden Daniels. Lions always got problems facing a Russian quarterback, since I can remember. Number 2, the Miracle in Motown, 2015 game against the Packers when Aaron Rodgers threw a Hail Mary in Motown. Yes, that shit was sad. Lions was up by 20 points at half, I think, and then Green Bay went, of course, on a dumb run. The last play of the game before the Hail Mary, we actually sacked Aaron Rodgers, but they called a face mask penalty, and you can see pictures and video evidence. Y'all can, whoever I'm talking to, y'all motherfucker. I mean, y'all people can look at it. But his hand, it was Devin Taylor. His hand hit his face mask. It didn't grab it. It just touched his face mask, grabbed his shoulder, tackled him by his shoulder, and face mask. And that's so they got 15 yards to the Hail Mary touchdown, win the game. My number one loss against Clay team, 2014 wildcard game against the Dallas Cowboys. A missed PI, a pass interference call, 3rd-and-1. One of the linebackers face guarded with Brandon Pettigrew at the time. Missed that call, made it 4th-and-1. We ended up shanking the punt to go 10 yards, 10-yard punt, and then Romo came down and win the game. Of course, Lions blew the game. They were still up. But at the time of that, I think Stafford got sacked like 2 or 3 times in a row to lose the game. But those are my worst losses. Yes, Lions fans, let me know. But I'm sure all those would be in somebody's list. Guarantee it.
That's crazy. I forgot all about the Hail Mary for Brett Favre. I'm surprised you didn't include the loss in the championship game, 2023.
Oh, against the 49ers. That was up there. That was I don't think like I was at the bar watching that game actually with a lot of 49ers fans. I was talking so much shit. And I just quietly walked out the bar with Janice. I just take her back and just walked out because like so the only part that game was Dan. I think I love Dan Campbell, of course. He's so aggressive.
Yeah, he was
and some of those
that game.
Yeah, and then some of those like fourth and short, 4th and 4 and less, he went for it, ended up turning the ball over. We could have kicked field goals, yes, but it's like could have stopped momentum, whatever. And I feel like those, but I live with that type of stuff. It's like live, die by, whatever. I don't. Now it doesn't matter because we're right here. But that started, so that game is like honorable mention, I would say. That's my number 6.
I like it.
I have a lot more. I could probably go on that list, but
I know you could.
That's my 5.
You got a whole season on your list.
Yeah. I'm glad you know that. Thank you.
My bad. I forgot. I'm not opening wounds. I ain't mean to. Clay, let's start with you. Well, let's continue with you. Cowboys, top 5 worst losses, and this is in your memory. This isn't top 5 worst losses in the history of the existence. This is just in your memory, top 5 losses for you.
All right, so we're gonna go 2015 divisional round. So, after the 2014 season, rather. So me and Vaughn were actually roommates. We actually watched this. This is the catch that wasn't a catch, the Des Bryant catch.
Des Bryant. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we might have got a noise complaint that day from all the screaming I did in the living room that day, like, and all the replays that they kept showing. Like, how is that the decision that was made?
Calvin Johnson.
Don't need nothing. Yeah, don't need nothing else to say. Like mine aren't necessarily in order 1 through 5. These are just 5 that that are crucial. So then next we're gonna go 2006 wild card, trailing 21-20, going for the game winning field goal. Tony Romo fumbles the snap.
Oh,
I remember that one.
Yeah. Fumbles and they got the infamous picture of him just sitting there with his helmet off. And I remember listening to my dad cuss up a storm during that because it's like, of all things to happen,
something probably simple.
You can't get the snap. You can't get the field goal snap.
That's heartbreaking. Thinking about that now,
and then you lose by 1.
Yeah,
you lose by 1, and you had the game. Oh man. So next we're gonna go the 2013 versus Green Bay, up by 23 at halftime.
I remember that game.
Blow the lead and end up losing by 1. That was the game where I think it was a famous meme of a Cowboy fan was like in between all Green Bay fans and he was talking crazy. Yeah. And then they show the actual time lapse like a minute later and he's like crying and then they're like harassing him in the stands and stuff. Yeah, like a lot of Cowboy stuff is like crucial, like losses, like we had it like and it got snatched away kind of stuff like that. That's too much of that. Then we're gonna go 2008 divisional. Number 1 seed and lose to Eli. This is one on one of Eli's runs. I think this was a season of the David Tyree catch later on. Like Eli always, I hate him. To be honest, like these are kind of like those years. when like I said, Romo, people were kind of praising Romo during this time. Like Romo was getting a lot of love, and that's actually the Terrell Owens meme game. That's my quarterback. That's
It's my
yeah, that's
quarterback.
my quarterback.
That's my teammate.
Yeah, that's that game. So not only is it a heartbreaking loss, but we came out with an iconic meme from one of the greatest NFL receivers ever.
I think
So and
every
then,
game of yours had a meme.
Yeah. Every game.
no, real talk. Damn near To started NFL memes. Matter of fact, somebody clip up a To meme
Oh,
reel.
it's coming. It's already in my head. Don't even worry about it.
Wee. And then my last one, I'm just choosing ass whoopings from last season alone. So we got Detroit whooped our ass 49-7. Philly took us out to the woodshed twice, 41-7 and 34-6.
Damn.
So it's easy to find some crucial Cowboy losses in recent history. Shit, like I said, I'm only 32 too. I ain't look. They was winning Super Bowls when I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So so I ain't seen too much, nothing but heartbreak.
That is crazy. I remember I was in Florida for that Packers game in 2015. I remember very vividly. I was rooting for the Cowboys. I was like, man, the Cowboys need to get one. I just
So close. So
can't buy a
close.
bucket. Gosh.
So close.
All right, well, let me get to mine. I'm the privileged of the group. I'm 39, turning 40 in a couple of months. You feel me? But 2 championships in my lifetime. Yeah, I know. 2000, 2012 championships. So there's not, there's something to choose from, obviously, as a Ravens fan. But man, we're privileged. I mean, there's no way to shorten. We just got it like that. But I will go in order. So my top 5, starting from 5, 2016, losing the division. Antonio Brown stretches his arm to the end zone in the final seconds to win the game in Baltimore. I was crushed because I thought we had the division that year. I thought that the Ravens were going to make something of it, and that was the game that really put fear of the Steelers in my heart. I mean, we lost to the Steelers in the AFC Championship in 2008 in Joe Flacco's first year, but that was the first game where I was like, wow, we are going to be fighting with the Steelers every season for the rest of our lives. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, yeah, that was a realization loss. That was the first realization.
Okay.
The next
Like
ones
that one.
are, the rest of them are playoff losses. I mean, losses where I thought we had a chance to make the championship. The number 4 is the championship. Well, the divisional round, we were the 1 seed. Were we the 1 seed or the 2 seed? I think we were the 1 seed. Against the Colts, the Colts had a terrible defense. Peyton Manning was good, but we had Steve McNair at quarterback. Our defense was locked in. We had a litany of defenders, then we just could not score with Steve McNair. We got Steve McNair to score the football. I think we didn't score a single touchdown. We threw the ball to Todd Heap in the red zone, and it was picked off. And we just couldn't buy a bucket. We just lost. We lost, and that was the time where I thought we had a chance to win the championship after Trent Dilfer won us to win in 2000. So that was sucky. Number 3, the loss to the Patriots in the divisional round. We were up 2 touchdowns for the majority of the game. Bill Belichick just showed his ass that year. He just kept finding ways to come back. He had a fake pass. He did some trick play that cost us a touchdown. We could not find a way to get back. That was the year we should have won the Super Bowl. I think we had no corners that year, but we were still finding ways to win football games. I thought we were going to sneak a championship in, but we lost. Number 2 really should be number 1. But the reason why it's not number 1 is because we want to win the championship the next year. We lost to the Patriots again in the AFC Championship, 2011 in New England. Lee Evans dropped the pass that would win us the game in the corner of the end zone with seconds left. And then a couple plays later, Billy Cundiff misses a chip shot. I think it was a 17-yard field goal. It was a nothing burger. John Harbaugh didn't call a timeout between the play and the kick. I think that would have given us time to potentially get a good kickoff. It was such a short kick that I don't think that it would have mattered. But yeah, it was a chip shot. We kicked the ball, wide left. Patriots go on to win the Super Bowl. Next year we win it, so that's why I have it at number 2. But number 1 for me, 100%, AFC Championship loss, 2023, Kansas City Chiefs. I was at the game. Ravens were the best team in the league, easily better than the Chiefs. We choked. We choked. Shit the bed. Should have been Lamar's first championship. Didn't get it done. So that's my top 5.
So Sam, I thought you was gonna put what
The
year was
Titans
that?
lost
Yeah,
2000. I
was
almost
that
did.
2000 or no
Yeah, it was
2020
2018.
or 18?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought you was gonna put
2019.
that.
2019. 2019.
19. I thought
Yeah,
you
the
were gonna put that
Titans
loss up
lost.
there because I had to
Yeah.
check in on you, buddy. I had to call you like 8 times. You would not answer the phone. I was so scared.
In the moment, it was a terrible loss.
Okay.
But looking back at it, we were such a one-dimensional football team that
Okay.
somebody was going to find a way to beat us eventually. But
Okay.
yeah, in the moment, it was a crazy loss because we were killing teams. We were beating teams by 30 points a game. But by BS, just by running the football with Lamar.
I literally
That was all we
called
did.
him like 8 times because I did not know. He on text like, I'm okay.
Check on his well-being.
Yeah, bro, I'm okay.
I wasn't
Bitch,
going to kill myself over the Ravens. I'm not like
Where
a
you been
psycho.
at? He was like
Yeah, I
crying,
was just
bro.
like,
He was in
I was
tears.
just dumbfounded. I was speechless.
That's fair. That's fair. I get that.
It was insane. All right, now that we got the open wounds out, let's talk about who can right the ship. Who can feel the feeling that we felt. Cowboys probably going to be looking at a playoff berth this year. Lions for sure. Ravens for sure. Is there a team that finished last season in 2024 that has a chance to turn the ship? Maybe not first place. We might not go that far. Maybe if you feel like it, but certainly making the playoffs. Team that finished last to making the playoffs. I'll give you that opportunity. There's only 8 teams in that bracket. Vaughn, I'll start with you. Who do you think finished last year that can finish near the top in 2025?
So looking at the 8 teams, we got the Patriots, Browns, Titans, Raiders, Giants, Bears, Saints, and 49ers. I think out of those, the easiest one has to be the 49ers. I think that's like the easy, safe pick would be them.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's coming back. Brandon Ayuk is coming back. Trent Williams is coming back. That alone right there is their offense. So I think overall, Brock Purdy's got paid. I think that's right there. Kiddo's still there, healthy. So I think that alone right there can push it number 1. You had, what was their record? 6-11, which is not, I mean, it's terrible, but at the same time, Cardinals was 8-9, and the Rams was 10-7. That's, honestly, that's not bad. They went 4-5 in the division, so they almost split. So that's not, you feel me? It's pretty average. I think that's the easiest safe team to go with. It's the 49ers.
I like that. What about you, Clay?
I mean, that's damn near the only answer. But if I wasn't to go with them, I would say the Browns could catch a hot streak because they weren't terrible for all of last year. You know, they definitely had some streaks, especially when Jameis and what's my dog when they went on their little streak.
Baker?
No, the receiver.
This year?
Yeah, Judy. When Jameis got in, he got to feeding Judy. You know that, and they had some injuries. You know, Nick Chubb always was getting hurt, but they had little spurts. So 49ers is the only answer. But if I had to pick somebody else besides that, I would say the Browns would have the next best shot. And you know,
I get to the Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, and that's only saying just to like you feel me turn something around. But like, the only team potentially off of that list making the playoffs, is the 49ers is the only ones that
the team.
Everybody else got too much to figure out.
Yeah, I like the 49ers. That's probably, like you said, who won that division this year?
The Rams, 10-7.
Yeah. So the 49ers definitely have the best shot. But one team I want you to think about:
the Raiders.
Nope. New England Patriots.
I knew you'd say that.
I think that Drake may turn a corner this year. Mike Vrabel's a new head coach. He did wonders in Tennessee. They did great this offseason. Their draft is phenomenal.
Can Diggs be a number 1 receiver again?
Diggs, right? Don't be surprised.
I'm asking.
I think he will.
I think so.
I'm big on Diggs. I've been high on Diggs forever. I think he definitely is going to. I'm telling you. I mean, not to knock on the Bills because I think the Bills are,
and Houston wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, Houston wasn't the great. I think they're going to be.
Yeah.
I think the Patriots have a shot.
That's a sleeper pick because everybody else you look at, it's like the Saints have no chance.
Saints got no shot.
It's too much going on.
The Giants got too much to overcome.
They have the league wants you to be excited about the Bears. But
there's no chance. Honestly,
gotta wait to see it.
You got the Packers and the Lions in that division. It's the opponents. I'm not really knocking the teams in the bottom.
But who they got to go up against.
Right.
So I would have said Raiders as my other than the Patriots. No, the Raiders would have been asleep, but the Raiders division is so crazy. Just looking at the conference, they had to overcome the Broncos was in third and it was 10-7. So and the Broncos added some pieces too. So it's like
I like the Raiders though. You kind of spitting a little bit because the Chiefs can't stop the run for nothing.
I mean, the Chiefs won most of the games by 1 or 2 points.
And he went and brought his quarterback in, so he's going to come in. Gino's going to be comfortable.
Gino,
yeah.
Pete Carroll,
Tom Brady. Yeah, I mean, they got a decent chance, honestly. But it's just too much to overcome because he's got the Chargers.
Chargers is going to be a Jim Harbaugh.
Their whole conference is kind of.
We're going to come back to my Justin Herbert agenda.
Yeah,
at some point during the season. You got Tay, you got Ladd, he got a couple of running backs. It's just gonna be because they got Najee Harris, they drafted Buddy. They got like 2 or 3 backs in there that's gonna be fighting. Like, hey,
we're gonna talk about it starting next week. We're gonna start going division by division, talking about these teams, and I think the Chiefs got some comp. I think the Chargers are. Chiefs fans hate when you talk about the Chargers because they're scared of the Chargers with Justin Herbert and. He hasn't figured it out yet, getting past the Chiefs, and the Chiefs have won like 9 straight, I think, divisions.
I'm gonna put a bet in and say that Broncos win the division.
Ooh, I like that.
That's my
Bo Nix. Bo Nix was one of those 3 quarterbacks we talked that had a better season statistically than Jalen Hurts.
I definitely didn't expect those stats to be Bo Nix though.
Yeah, Bo Nix is kind of crazy.
They did play a lot of Broncos games like on national TV though, so like he was eating there, So
that's gonna be
definitely watched him put up numbers.
Yep. It's going to be a good time for football, but that is going to do it for us here at Still Got It. Great episode as always. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well as we post content Monday through Friday. We try and get it to you. Get us your thoughts if you agree or disagree. Keep it polite in the comments. We gonna fire back. Don't even get twisted. You ain't gonna come at us.
You ain't staying polite.
Yeah. This ain't ESPN. You know what I'm saying? We gonna spit back for sure. We might get banned, whatever. But it's gonna. Oh yeah.
I might.
Yeah, low key. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us. It's Still Got It. Great episode again. We're going to be back next week talking more football. The season's getting ready to start. Go ahead and make sure you follow us as we talk about your team and others as we get ready for the 2025 season. I'm itching for some football. Basketball season's over. Baseball season's baseball. You know what I mean? Not much to talk about unless you're watching the WNBA for real at this point. So make sure you tune in and talk all football all the time. That's going to do it for us here at Still Got It Podcast, and we will see you next week.